Hello and welcome to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2, where we are playing as Duke Wilhelm, that's my pronunciation, of the 8th of Aquitaine. Aquitaine is not an independent realm. I'm a part of France, I'm a Duke of France, and I am in particular the Duke of Aquitaine, which is this area. But I also control this duchy and this duchy. My plan is to form the Kingdom of Aquitaine. I can do that if I have enough money. I'll show you what it looks like. This is the Kingdom of Aquitaine. I'll have all but this province. Hopefully. Because this province is part of the HRE. Holy Roman Empire, which you can't see right here because they don't exist in that. Holy Roman Empire. HRE. Yeah, you can see my borders from the thick lines. Of course, thick lines are just separations of holdings. But I'm the liege of everyone that's inside of here. So if I click on them, I am their liege. But then, of course, King Philippe I of France is my liege. But that doesn't matter. So the thick lines in this area are my borders, pretty much. But I have vision on all of France, as you can see from here, and I'll have vision whenever King William, or Duke William the Bastard, attacks England and hopefully becomes Duke William the Conqueror. I'm really hoping that this happens, because what's going to happen whenever I declare independence from France is I'll be taking all of this territory with me and declaring war on France, basically, and the only way that I'll be able to be independent is if I win. Which I should win, but it'll help a ton if Normandy, if King William, or Duke William succeeds. So all of Normandy, all of this, will be a part of England. Now, I've seen it go a different route before. I've seen Duke William die in battle, and his son Robert, or was Robert at the time, does he have a son Robert? Nobody sorts out. Yep. He did not continue the war. It was bad because that meant that Normandy was a part of France, and I mean, it wasn't bad for me, but that would be bad. I was playing as Ireland at the time. But yeah, so it was actually pretty good for me because England was England and Norway. Part of England was Norway, Norwegian, so it was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't to start out with. I think Norway had gone to war with England and lost, and they went to war again for provinces. I really didn't know what was going on. It was one of my first few times playing, so it was kind of confusing, but I think that's what happened. I don't know, I ended up not losing, but I pretty much did, so I don't really want to go back to the save and figure out, because I don't want to be in such a bad situation. I guess it really doesn't matter if I just want to figure it out, but so hopefully it doesn't happen, because Normandy is a pretty powerful area, as you can see. 12,000 men is just from Normandy, so yeah. Yeah, so I'll try to, I'll try to describe the differences between this and EU3 a bit. I'm not going to go too in-depth, I don't think, but if any of you have questions, like if I didn't... If I didn't describe something well enough, then feel free to ask something. But yeah, so in this game, instead of you just being like a nation, like in EU3 I couldn't decide to be a duke. You're not a person really in EU3, you pretty much play as the country, I'd say. If your king dies, your king dies. Sometimes you even purposely kill your king, at least I do, for a king with better stats, and it really doesn't change anything. You still have the same casus belli, as long as they haven't expired, and nothing really changes all that much whenever you get a new king. I think there's like a few revolt risk changes sometimes, but overall nothing really changes. In this game, it's crucial to have a king. You actually have to maintain the fact that you have children, you have to get married, you have to manage your entire family line. So my siblings, I might have to get them married or they're like their children, my nieces and nephews and uncles and stuff. I might have to get them married, make sure that they're educated, various other things. And they all tie in together for alliances. You can't really just talk to someone and be like, hey, we should join an alliance. Like, I can't just talk to the HRE, like, so their king, or their emperor, sorry. I can't just click a button like, hey, we should join an alliance. The only way it could be an alliance is if I had marriage ties to the HRE, which would never happen. Not because I wouldn't want it, just because they wouldn't want it. And that's the way to get alliances and stuff, so... Yeah, it's really centered around your dynasty, and the way you lose this game is if you have no successors within your bloodline, I think. I've never lost the game, so I don't know. I just got into a situation where I felt was bad, and that I feel like I would have lost most of my nation, so I just kind of quit. Hopefully it won't come to that. Because I have, as I said, I have played as Ireland before, where I went into a bad situation, but my more current game of Ireland, I have all of Ireland, of course, and I have all of Iceland. I have these two islands, and I'm currently working on taking over more of Norway, and it's actually going really well. So, I have done poorly, and I've done well, but I haven't lost, so I really don't know exactly how losing goes, but it has something to do with either not having a successor at all. I know that would make you lose, but I don't know if they have to be your bloodline or not. I think they do, but I'm not too certain. I guess your successor has to be of your bloodline anyways, don't they? Maybe not. I guess if you have no children or brothers or anything, I guess your successor could be your wife. Maybe. I don't know. That's something to think about. I don't know. Maybe try to figure out, like, purposely try to get my children killed and my parents and stuff, and just kind of see if that, I don't know, probably never going to do that, but that'd be interesting. Let's see, another big change is, or difference. The map, it's not the world, it's just Europe, Middle East, and North Africa, so... you can only play as the Catholic nations, unless you have the Sword of Islam DLC, I think is what it's called. You can play as Muslim nations then. You can't play as pagan nations either, so all of these nations over here, well not all of them, but a lot of them, a lot of these over here, aren't available. They're not available even with the Sword of Islam DLC because, as you can see, if I find the button, they're Monophysite, which means that they're a version of Catholicism, I think. Yep, Orthodox. They're an Orthodox heresy, so they're not playable either. Granted, you can take over their area and end up losing all of your area in another place and end up playing as them, and you'd have still the heresy. So, I mean, you can end up getting succession lines to where you are playing as a nation that does have a heresy in it, like, I don't know, I started as the nation of, like, Norway, and maybe somewhere along the line, if I do die, maybe I have, like, one of my siblings or something, excuse me, maybe they're the king of Kolasami, somehow. Of course, they're pagan, I think. Yep, pagan. Then I could succeed and play as a pagan nation, but you can't start out as one. I'm fairly certain that's how it works, at least. Let's see, another change, or, I keep saying change, it's a completely different game. Another difference is that instead of, like in E3, where say I have like one regiment, and I want to get like 19 more regiments, instead of just like, just right-clicking a bunch of provinces and saying like, build these regiments, in this game, you already have your regiments that you can call up. So I have 675 personal levies and 1272 vassal levies that I can call up, and they'll add together and they'll rise up from various provinces and I can join them together. But I can't just tell them like, hey, you need to train a bunch more men right now. It doesn't really work that way. I mean, there is a way to train more men, kind of, but it doesn't really, it's not anywhere near the same as EU3. Also, going to war works differently, so For instance, if I went to war with him, which I will be doing, and I went to war for Foy. Can I go to war for Foy? I think I can. Declare war... yeah, Foy. I can go to war for Foy. I checked this before, but I was just making sure. But yeah, so... I could go to war for Foy. I think that's how you pronounce it, I really don't know. And... what it'd do is, this would be highlighted in red, their border. But the border of the place that I'm attacking would be highlighted in, or trying to claim, would be highlighted in orange or yellowish orange. And that's the area that I'm trying to claim. When I win the war, if I win the war, I guess I should say, I get that province. Unlike EU3, where if I go to war to, like, vassalize someone, and I take over all of their land, and I decide, you know what, instead of vassalizing you, I'm going to annex you, you can't do that in this game. I could go to war with the HRE, playing as... pretend I'm Brittany, and I somehow conquer the entirety of the HRE. That would never happen, but let's pretend it happened in this instance. In EU3, I could annex the HRE. In this game, if I went to war for, I don't know, let's say I went to war for Ancona. Even though I took over all of their provinces, like every single one completely, I could only take Ancona from winning. So, that's a pretty big difference. Also, that means when you call allies in for your war, they again can take over the entirety of the HRE in this instance. Even though they're the ones that took it, you're the one that still gets Ancona, and they get nothing. They get prestige for joining the battle with you, and I think they get some money from just winning the battles. But otherwise, they gain no territory at all, which is another thing that I like, because it was pretty annoying in EU3 calling in an ally, and they end up taking over like the entire country, and they annex it, and so you're left with nothing, and you're the ones that called them in. It's pretty annoying when that happens, so you don't have to worry about that in this game. I think that's about everything. Oh yeah, Council, we should probably talk about them. These guys just do various different actions for you towards other nations, or for inside of your nation. Like Chancellor, he can improve diplomatic relations. It's fairly obvious what that does. Fabricate claims, I could send him, I mean, for instance, I'm going to be sending him here. He has a percentage chance every year of fabricating a claim for this province, which means that I can click this, click Declare War, and instead of just being these three, there will be another one that says, claim, what's this one called? Toles? Sure. Toles. So it'll have claim Toles, and I'll be able to go war for it. And you can't combine your claims. I can't be like, I want to go to war for Foy and Toles. I can't be like, I wanted to go to war for, say, I can claim Foy, that place, and that place. I can't combine all of those together and have like 4 claims going on at once in the same war. You can only use one claim. Granted, you can have claims on an entire duchy, so if I manage to get a claim on his duchy, then I could go to war for his entire duchy. You can get wars for an entire kingdom, or an empire. Well, maybe an empire, I don't really know about that. Yeah, I could have a claim on the entirety of England, like William the Bastard does, and I think the Norwegian king does. I could have a claim on the entirety of Scotland, or Sweden, or Poland. But, generally you'll just have claims on duchies inside of a kingdom, or, just provinces. I mean, in this instance, I have a claim on Foy, but if they had Armagnac, then I could claim Armagnac and Foy, because I have this through a de jure duchy claim, and the duchy is these provinces, I think, maybe even Agen, I don't really know. I think it's just these, though. So I'd still have the ducal claim. I'd still have that title, the title for Duke of, I think it's Gascon. So I could still go to war for Armagnac and Foy, just for the de jure duchy claim. And there's also so descent, which means that if I sent him here again, for instance, there's a chance that I get caught and they don't like me more, or they don't like me as much. Or, well, them, I think it'd be Philippe, not him. And there's also a chance that this province, or maybe even this entire duchy, declares independence from France, which is good for you if you want to claim an area, but you know you're too weak to go to war with the entire kingdom. So, I don't know, say I'm playing as Ireland, and Scotland took, I don't know, Connacht, Briefny, and all these. So, I could sow dissent in a few of these places, say it actually works, say declare independence, and I go in and I attack Connacht, and then it works again in Briefny, and I go attack Briefny, and Oriel, and Ulster, and Tyrone. It most likely won't work. I've never had it actually work before, but let's just say it does work. So it's just a good way to claim territory without having to deal with the entire kingdom. Suppress revolts, fairly obvious. Train troops, increases your levy size in the area. Research military tech, just increases your military tech improvement rate. Collect taxes, you just get more money. Oversee construction, increases construction speed of buildings in the area. Research economy tech, again, pretty obvious, increases economy tech growth. Uncover plots, and uncovers plots that people want, like people wanting to kill each other, people wanting to kill you, stuff like that. Build spy network, just increases your assassination chance against people, so you could send them, like, say I want to assassinate him. I send my spy over here to expand my spy network, and I have a higher chance of assassinating him. Study technology. I consider it stealing technology, personally. Usually it's a good idea to send to the Byzantine Empire or the Holy Roman Empire, and because they're pretty advanced, I think. And you can just basically leech technologies off of them, but they do find out sometimes and put your spy master into jail, so it's not really the best idea. Head local inquisition, say I took over part of Spain, or the Iberian Peninsula, whatever you want to call it. Say I took over Valencia, or part of Valencia. They'd be Muslim, obviously, Sunni to be exact, and that would just help convert them to Catholicism faster. Research cultural tech, again, just increases culture tech advancement, and improve religious relations, just improves religious relations with the bishop in the area. Low priority messages are just random messages, like in this instance it's telling me that I told my people to go do stuff. It could also be stuff like people in your court wanting to kill each other, you choosing your own ambition, which I'll get into ambitions later, and stuff like that. High priority messages are your heir not claiming a territory whenever you succeed or whenever they succeed. So, like, say my heir doesn't end up claiming, say I took over this duchy, and my heir doesn't end up claiming this, it'll still be under my control, but I don't have these provinces. I don't have this duchy. It's not my title anymore, but I'm still controlling it. It's just, I'm the liege of the person who's controlling it, but it's not directly being controlled by me. And it'll also be other stuff like someone wanting to be your steward or your new court-martial or stuff like that. Court-martial? It's just martial, isn't it? Yep. Don't know why I said court-martial. You know, just other stuff like that. Ambition. These are just various goals that you can select, and there's various bonuses that apply. So if I chose the plot to revoke the Prince-Bishopric evasion, then I would gain 1 intrigue whenever it completed. In this instance, I'm going to go with have a son. I'll gain 10 piety once that's completed. Oh yeah, score. Score is a combination of your piety and prestige once your king dies. So once he dies, or duke, king, earl, count, whatever you want to call it, however it is that you're playing as. So once he dies, his prestige and piety will be added up and added to the score, which won't really matter until you end the game. So until you resign, or you lose, or you get to the time limit, which is sometime in the 1450s, I think. I think that's everything. This is just telling me that I have a claim on Foy, that I have impressed, and this is telling me that I can create 2 titles, like a duchy over there, and a duchy between Auvergne and Givaudan. I think, right? No. Is it this one? Yep. Auvergne and Givaudan. So, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, Givaudan. I know Auvergne. I think I know Auvergne. I don't know French names at all. So it's kind of pulling these names out of thin air. Thin air? Thin air. So yeah. I don't know if I want to go to war just yet with him. Well, I mean, I know I'm going to be more powerful. I go to war for Foy already, and I get Foy. And I can get Toulouse once this guy's done. Sure. Oh, and one thing you can't do is, you can't declare war while you have your levies up. You can get mercenaries, as you can see, and holy orders. Holy orders can only be used in holy wars. Yeah, if you have mercenaries, you can hire as many mercenaries as you want. Like, I can have, if I had enough money, I could hire every single one of these mercenaries and have them waiting just by the border of these guys, and I could declare war. But if I had my personal levies up and my vassal levies up, or either or, I could not declare war at all. It's not allowed. Actually, I have to go to Disney.